Hello everyone, how's it going? I'm WoWcrendor, and there's been some crazy stuff going on in the World of Warcraft community. If you've been living under a rock, I'm sorry, it's probably very uncomfortable. Hey, jokes. But you've probably still heard of all the WoW vanilla servers stuff going on, even if you're living under a rock. That's how much everyone's talking about it. So I made my opinion video on it about a week or two ago. Pretty much, I'm neutral, right? I understand both sides. I try to always understand both sides, no matter who it is. I understand Blizzard's like, hey, this is our property. We don't want you using it. Blah, blah, blah. We have the right to, right? It's true. They legally do. It's all good. But at the same time, they're just some dudes wanted to play vanilla WoW, and that's that. They weren't like, yeah, let's scam Blizzard out of money, right? They're just like, we just want to play vanilla WoW. Like, you know, whatever. And there's no other way to play vanilla WoW. So they just did what they had to do to play vanilla WoW. Like, I see both sides, right? And now there's been an official reply from Blizzard. From Blizzard. And here it is. Our silence on this subject definitely doesn't reflect our level of engagement and passion around this topic. We hear you. Many of us across Blizzard and the WoW dev team have been passionate players ever since Classic WoW. In fact, I personally work at Blizzard because of my love for Classic WoW. We've been discussing Classic servers for years. It's a topic every BlizzCon, and especially over the past few weeks, from active internal team discussions to after-hour meetings with leadership, the subject has been highly debated, and here's some of our current thoughts. Why not let Nostalrius continue the way it was? Honest answer is failure to protect against intellectual property infringement would damage Blizzard's rights. Blah, 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 blah. You know their side, right? We explored options for developing classic servers. None could be executed without great difficulty. If we could push a button and all this would be created, we would. However, there are tremendous operational challenges to integrating classic servers, not to mention the ongoing support of multiple live versions for every aspect of WoW. So what can we do to capture the nostalgia of when WoW first launched? Over the years, we've talked about a pristine realm. In essence, that would turn off all leveling acceleration, including character transfers, heirloom gear, character boost, recruit a friend, WoW token, and access to cross-realm zones, as well as group finder. We aren't sure whether this version of a clean slate is something that would appeal to the community, and it's still an open topic of discussion. And the other note is they've been talking with the people who operated Nostalrius, and they obviously care deeply about the game, blah, 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 blah. We're looking forward to talking to them more. Okay. So what did we get out of that? What did we get out of that whole thing? Number one is they're like, we're protecting our shit. We don't want people using it, right? Okay, that's fine. Number two is you want a classic server, this is going to be hard to do. It's great difficulty, and if they had the ability, they would have done it already. I don't know if they would have done it already, but apparently it's very difficult. And then they've talked about pristine realms. So pristine realms would be turning off leveling acceleration, WoW token, cross-realm zones, group finder. And they want to know, is this something you would be interested in? And then finally, they're like, we're going to talk to the Nostalrius people. All right, cool. So at least they're talking to the Nostalrius people, right? They're actually interested in their opinions and how they did all this and all that, instead of just being like, get them out of here. They're criminals. Get them out of here, right? So at least they're doing that. Here's the thing. Would I play a pristine realm? There's a vote on MMO champion right now. I would not. The current vote is split like 50-50. But I personally would not play on a pristine realm. And here's why. I don't care about slowing down the leveling of the current game. To me, that's not nostalgic, right? I'm like, oh man, this nostalgia sure is fun of slowly leveling and not being able to find a group. Like, no, I don't think anyone thinks that. Like, the nostalgia isn't about little aspects of the game. It's about the entire theme, the entire game that was classic vanilla WoW. You know, it wasn't just like, oh wow, this slow leveling, right? It was, exploring all these zones for the first time. It was the way the world used to be. It was, having to buy arrows as a hunter. It was having to grind raid potions and elixirs and do that for the raids and have 40-man raids, and like it was all the stuff just combined into that game. And here's the thing, like they're like, what if we made a realm that just did this? I'm sure people would play this, but like at the same time I'm like, I'd rather just play the actual game, right? I'd rather play the game as it is currently if I'm gonna play the current game. As for them not making a classic server, they're like, we explored options for developing classic servers. None of them can be executed without great difficulty. Here's the biggest issue with like all this stuff is there's that everyone keeps bringing up that BlizzCon video, right? Where he's like, you don't want this, you know, like you don't want the vanilla servers. That's dumb, right? That's, so I'm trying to think up like a metaphor. So let's say Johnny's Burger Shack. All right. That's the first thing that came to my mind for some reason. Let's say there's Johnny's Burger Shack and your girlfriend, boyfriend, friend, whoever, right? They want to go to Johnny's Burger Shack, but it's 30 minutes away. It's a 30-minute drive and your car is broken, right? You haven't used it in like 10 years. It's an old car. And they're like, you know what? I want to go to Johnny's Burger Shack. And instead of, explaining, you're just like, that Johnny's Burger Shack? That's dumb. You know what? You're dumb. Because it's almost like the projection they give away. Like, you want to play in vanilla servers? That's stupid. Why would you want that? You're dumb. Even if he was like just like really nervous or just a dev on stage, he doesn't normally give speeches, doesn't normally talk. Maybe he was nervous and he's just like, you don't want that, haha. That is how it projected to the audience and to everyone, right? So if you were to say that to like your friend or whoever it is, they would just be like, yeah, I do. I want Johnny's Burger Shack, right? So I think the biggest issue here is communication. I think if they laid out what it would take to get a classic vanilla WoW server up and running and managing it and like the estimated costs and everything, people would actually be less mad because we'd see, oh, all right, maybe it is going to cost a lot of money. Maybe it is going to be like too much work for that little reward, right? People just want clarity. And so, for example, going back to Johnny's Burger Shack, instead of being like, you don't want that, what if you're like, all right, our car's been broken. It hasn't worked in years. It's like a 11-year-old car, however old it is. And you're like, we'd have to take it to the mechanic. It's got a lot wrong with it. We're going to have to order parts from all over. It's going to take a while to fix. It's going to cost a lot of money. Some of these parts are rare. We don't even have... The parts aren't even made anymore. Like, there's going to be crazy shit going on with this car. I don't know if it's even going to make it to Johnny's Burger Shack after we're done, like, rebuilding it and fixing it. And then we got to hope we get to Johnny's Burger Shack and it's, like, good, right? We don't want to do all this to get to Johnny's Burger Shack, and then everyone's like, it was okay. I don't think I'll go back. Right? Is that a good analogy? Yeah, analogy, right? Was that good? I hope so. It makes sense in my mind. That's like it just needs some clarity. Cause then maybe after you hear all that, right, you'd be like, oh, all right, yeah, let's just go back to Burger Town. We've been going there for a while. It's like a 2-minute walk. Okay. So I almost feel like that's the biggest issue is just clarity. If they laid it all out, showed us all that, it doesn't even have to be like exact thing. It's just estimates, right? And the process. Because I feel like everyone's like, the back and forth between both sides, like, how hard could it be? And then the other side's like, it's a lot of work. And then they're like, it's a lot of work. And then it's like, but how much work is it, right? Everyone just wants to know. Like, nobody knows. We just have this generic term of like, it's a lot of work. Well, like, okay. Are there going to be problems as well? Like, is there going to be a giant hole in Orgrimmar? Like, we don't have the file anymore for the Orgrimmar bank, so it's just going to be a giant black hole in the ground. So we'll have to redesign the bank and make it look old, right? Is that part of the problem? Like, we just want to know. We just want to know the problem. I don't even want to play. Like, I don't even care about Vanilla WoW, but I'm still like, is that what's going on here? Like, is that part of the problem? Would there be a giant hole in Orgrimmar? I don't know. is one of the mounts, like is one of the mount files gone? Like, well, yeah, that mount, if you ride that mount, the game will just explode, right? Like, I don't know. So, clarity, communication, keys. The keys are communication and clarity. Where am I even going with this? Johnny's Burger Shack and keys? Okay. So yeah, I think everyone's getting so upset and everything about this because everyone just loves World of Warcraft, right? This is one of the biggest games. It's one of the most emotionally invoking games because of how much we've tied to it, right? I started playing in January of 2005. I've played Vanilla WoW. I played like pretty much all through Vanilla WoW. I've played all the expansions, played all that. So I'm not one of those people that's like, I'd love to just even try Vanilla WoW. Like, I've played Vanilla WoW. I know what it is. I know what it's like. And I'd still probably play it, right? I'd still probably go back and try to relive that and be like, I'll level a character on a Vanilla WoW server. Why not? And I'd probably even PvP a bit. I don't think I'd raid because I already got all my raiding done back when I actually play the game. But I wouldn't mind PvPing because I remember PvPing back then. It was pretty fun. Using old talent trees, all the stuff like that. But how long would I play it for is the question. Maybe I would, I don't know. I don't know until I try it, right? I might really like it. I might play it more than the actual game. Or, you know, it might just be fun to have an alt there and hop on every once in a while. My big thing is I would love to film there. Like machinimas and stuff. Like there's so many video ideas I haven't done because I haven't been able to go back and film like a vanilla WoW environment. I'm like, oh man, that'd be great if I go back and film in Crossroads if there wasn't a giant lava crack in the earth, right? So I personally would love it just for filming purposes, but obviously other people don't care as much about that. But, you know, I've played since back then. I've gone through all this. It's impacted my life. This game has... The reason I rank this as like my top game ever is because it impacted my life so much, right? It made me keep talking to a lot of my friends back in the day. It helped me make new friends. It helped me get my current job, you know, and hobby, and start my YouTube channel. All these things, right? And you know, all those aspects tie into how you respond to all this. You have a stronger emotional bond with this game over like bad rats or something. So no, that's why I wouldn't play a Pristine Realm. I don't care about that. And I just want to know, like, how hard would it be to make it? And I feel like that's all everyone wants to know, right? Leave your comments in the comments section below. I want to know what you think, because that's my stance. I would play in a classic server. I want to know how hard it is to make one. That's all I want to know. I just want to know how hard would it be to make it and the process of doing it. And I think that's what a lot of people would like to know. So yeah, I think that's all I got. Okay. See you.